Mike was my all-time role model. I was working in Hollister, fanboying him a little bit, and then we started going to the gym together, and then I would basically just plan all of my shifts for whenever Mike was managing. Proximity lets your foot in the door. Mike's YouTube videos had been completely fitness orientated, and he had never really filmed a vlog or any travel style videos. So we put up our week in Dubai, like 50-50 feedback. Some people hated it. Mike was like, oh fuck, don't know if this is a good idea. Maybe I should just stick to fitness. And I was like, right, let's just basically like create a system where we do 2 fitness videos, and for every 2 fitness videos, we'll do like a vlog.
I really enjoyed that transition.
That was like a big change in Mike's YouTube career. I lived in Ibiza for 2 years. We got this sick apartment on the beach, got sucked into the party lifestyle. After living for 2 years in Ibiza, I couldn't remember like a 4-digit code.
Mate.
Worst mistake ever.
I feel like it would just fry your dopamine receptors like irreparably.
So I just posted my Instagram stories. Anyone in Madrid, I'm going to host a run club every Saturday in Retiro. And eventually, after like 2 or 3 weeks, I met some like amazing guys, and that's pretty much like where the idea of the Creator Club came from. But I absolutely love it because I love teaching the stuff that I'm actually passionate about, and that fulfills me. Another big thing with the Creator Club is doing a monthly trip around the world. So we just had the Valencia High Rocks. Next week we've got a Christmas trip in Manchester. Next year we've got Cape Town. We've got a ski trip. We've got Ibiza half marathon, and we've got that's my main commitment.
Fiji Catalan, can't beat it.
You actually can't beat it. It's my favourite agua con gas of all time.
It is the undisputed GOAT. Nice wholesome podcast. Won't be having a night like last night, will we?
What happened last night?
Well, the last night. The last time we
yeah.
The time we did a 5k run had, I would guess, about 20 canyas each.
Classic.
I was looking, I remember like after that run, I was knackered at the end of that as well. I was in terrible nick at the time in terms of running.
And we had hay fever eyes from all the pollen on the trees.
We were going up to the pharmacy and actually like just looking like Bear Grylls after he got stung by the look, there was I remember, so you were like, oh, we'll go in, we'll have a pint, lads. I was like, all right, we'll have like just a chill pint, like that'll be fine. I kind of like look over at you. It's about 20 minutes in, I see you take a big gulp, like finishing off a canyon. I was like, fuck, I think that was his third, I'd say. Yeah, I was like, all right, okay, we're out here tonight.
That's what happens. Get the hard thing done first, which is the run.
Yeah.
And then it's pretty much full send from there.
Bit of a legendary night. Man, you're sick on the decks, eh? Do you play them much?
On the decks? Well, funnily enough, it's actually they're an extreme inconvenience because obviously I don't have a home. Are we recording, by the way?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Just straight in like that.
Straight in, yeah.
And by the way, this is like the most nice, intimate podcast that I've ever done, because sometimes whenever you do a podcast, the guest, and you're a guest and the host, sometimes you like sit across the table from each other, and it's quite like, I don't know, like a bit intimidating. So this is nice. But the decks, I love playing the decks, but because I don't have a home, my home is basically a storage unit down the road from here. Yeah. So whenever I come back to Madrid every couple of months, the first thing I do when I'm leaving the airport is go straight to the unit.
Mate.
And get the decks out.
Wait, so you didn't have the gaff here for the last couple of months?
No.
No way.
So luckily, shout out to my woman, Sylvia, for hooking me up with the gaff, because it's my favourite place in Madrid. It's actually named on Airbnb the Peaceful Oasis.
Man, it certainly is. Perfect for an L podcast.
And it's good for locking in, because I'm outside of the city, and I feel like if I'm inside the city, then I could just be tempted to get on the canyons all day, every day. You're
very locked in at the moment, in fairness. Like, so what was the last 30 days, so you were in Dubai, you were in a couple of different places away.
I went to Ibiza. Spent the month of September in Ibiza, spent the whole summer in Montenegro, which was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Because it was outside of the Schengen area, and I'm limited to 3 months at a time in Europe. And then I did a month in Ibiza, and then I went to Valencia for High Rocks, and then I just spent a month in Dubai.
Yeah. Fuck, bro. A little mad road trip in there as well.
Yeah.
I think coming from Montenegro.
Yeah. So from Montenegro to Croatia, and then to Italy, Switzerland, France, Spain. Pretty sick.
Sick summer, mate. Sick summer. So this time in Dubai, so we've had a couple of chats about Dubai privately, and like your take there, like you've obviously got like a load of friends there.
Yeah.
And like and obviously for what you do as well, Dubai is really ideal for that. Like it's convenient. It's like there are a lot of people for you to collaborate with. You've obviously got some of your closest friends there. It's not just like, a big network, but some of your closest friends. Like, did you ever toy with the idea of moving there?
Well, so last year I set my business there.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have to technically spend a certain amount of time there each year. And I think the plan is to have a base in Dubai. Like, I don't absolutely love Dubai, but as you just said, it's really, really good for what I do, which is content, collaborations, meeting new people, and business in general, I think it's really good. Like everyone is working hard, everyone's pushing themselves. Most people in Dubai are pretty successful, and you can't really fake it in Dubai. Whereas if you go to Bali or somewhere like that, you have all these like online coaches, gurus who can fake it, and they can live on like €1,000 a month. Whereas in Dubai, you literally can't do that. You'll spend like €1,000 a month on taxis getting from A to B.
Yeah.
So like Dubai is good for that. It's definitely motivating. I think because I was there for such a short, like only for a month, I was bombarded by like, there's just so many things to do. Like I love Madrid, but there isn't really that much to do. And I kind of like that. But in Dubai, you can go like wake surfing, you can go jet skiing, you can play paddle. I mean, you can play paddle in Madrid, but there's just so much to do at all times, like bottomless brunches, like
The dinners.
like beaches, like the beach clubs. There's just so much to do all the time. And I pretty much was doing something fun and exciting every single day. But it was definitely like for the last 2 weeks I've been here, and I've just enjoyed a bit of peace and alone time and quiet, which is nice.
Yeah, fuck, you would feel like a different person in each of these places. Like I think Madrid, like you can have like quite a peaceful lifestyle. I feel, do you know, like especially like in this kind of area of Madrid,
Which I like.
massively. Yeah, I mean, for you, I could see you though, like doing like an extended period of time in Dubai. Let's say 3 months, live with Mike, do content every day together. Which obviously you guys have like quite a like symbiotic relationship there as well, where like you both obviously be helping each other out a lot. Like, would you ever like do like a 90-day lock-in in Dubai and just see like do a challenge like fuck, I'll try and grow the channel 20k subs or something?
That's actually a really good idea. I'll probably do that next year. So plan for next year is January, Thailand, February, go to Cape Town, and then probably do 2 months in Dubai before it gets too hot. And then I'll do another maybe 2 months in Dubai at the end of the year.
So sick.
So like 4 months a year in Dubai, I think is enough for me, because it's, for anyone that's been to Dubai, they'll know it's like, it just doesn't have the, I don't know, it has like no vibe really, like no, there's just something that feels like a little bit empty. And it's, I love Dubai, but I don't know if it's because there's like not really a culture. Obviously it was only just pretty much invented in the last 50 years.
Yeah.
So there isn't really like any, I don't know. And like the local people, so like say for example, we go to a bar in Spain, in Madrid, there's going to be like local people there speaking Spanish, enjoying a beer, whereas like the local people in Dubai,
You don't see him.
Yeah, you don't see them.
Don't see him
ever.
When I lived there, I started calling it True Bali because it felt like living in the Truman Show, like the Jim Carrey movie, where like wakes up every day is the same, and he's on a movie set, and his wife's not his real wife, his friends aren't his real friends, his job is fake. One day he gets out in a boat and he like punches a hole through the kind of the tarp or whatever in the set. I kind of felt like I'd wake up every day and it was like, I kind of said there were like a couple of like NPC varieties that are exclusive to Dubai. One I nicknamed it the Russian bimbo mother NPC, which like you'll know exactly what I mean. So I remember when I used to live down in the marina.
Yeah.
And I remember one day like working at this cafe and I was outside. This is like probably 2 years ago, like exactly. And there was this Russian bimbo mother NPC with like a D squared hat and like a tube bra from like Fendi, Prada, like big trainers, like big chunky ones, like techno stompers. But she had 2 young daughters there. And like a crow or like a bird comes down onto the table while her 2 daughters are arguing, and she's just on her phone like fluoride stare, like swiping through Instagram, and like her daughters are like throwing food at each other kind of thing. And then the crow comes onto the table and like lifts a huge chunk of food off one of the girls' plates and flies off, and the mother doesn't look up. I was just like, you will never see that anywhere.
No, it's
other than Dubai.
Yeah, I spent 2 weeks in the marina and then like 2 weeks with Mike. Mike lives on JBR. I definitely think like for young entrepreneurs and young business people, if you want to be successful and you want to level up and you want a lot of opportunity, like bro, if most people that move to Dubai, there's so much money and opportunity, and like I have to say, like it's a really good place for that. So if you are like, if you're in the UK, for example, Dubai is 100 times better than the UK.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
obviously we love Spain, we love Madrid, and sometimes I compare Dubai to Madrid, which I shouldn't really compare the two, but if you want to try and reach your potential, if you want to be surrounded by people who are hardworking, and the majority of people in Dubai are successful, like I guarantee any young entrepreneur, if they go to Dubai for 2 or 3 years, they will be successful.
Oh, without a doubt.
Like
Without a doubt.
it's like all people really do there is work and grind and hustle. So I think it's quite motivating and inspiring for that. Like I know probably, I don't know, I would say probably 50 people that I've known like for a long period of time on Instagram in real life. And if they've been in Dubai for the last 3, 4, 5 years, and now all of them are extremely successful.
Unrecognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd be interested to see you do like a content knock in there like that and see what would happen. I think like your content journey there is pretty interesting. Like when I see you doing like videos at Mike recently, it gives me like the old days when I was watching your guys' videos. Probably like 2016 was when I started watching Mike pretty early, and then probably like 2019 or 18 I probably started watching you. But like I've actually never asked you the initial. I've heard the Hollister story from his POV.
Yeah.
But like you guys, I'm pretty sure you met in Hollister, yeah.
Yeah, Mike was like my like all-time role model. So like when I was like 15, 16, starting in the gym, Instagram wasn't even a thing. YouTube wasn't really a thing. And I used to follow Mike on Facebook.
Was he like proper like big dog around Newcastle kind of thing?
So like this is the funny thing. Mike's actually from Leeds, and in Newcastle you had like student events, and there would be like topless male hosts who'd have like spray painted gold abs, like, and they would go around.
Scotty T.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So Scotty T, Mike, like Gaz G Shaw, people like that, the whole crew going around, and they were like the role models for the youth. And
this explains Newcastle.
yeah. So like I used to follow Mike on Facebook, and like I don't know, you didn't like really message like your favorite influencer back then, like that just wasn't the done thing. Mm-hmm. And then there was a rumor. I was working in Hollister from when I was like 16 until I was like 18, when I eventually got sacked. After probably about 30 warnings, I did actually eventually get sacked. And
Mike tried to keep you there, like, in the job. He's like, nah, he's doing the job, I swear.
There was a rumor that went around that Mike Thurston, the super jacked guy, was gonna come and work in Hollister and be a manager, and I was all excited. And then basically the rumor became reality, and I used to basically, you could choose your shifts. So I like befriended Mike, and I was probably a little bit of a fanboying him a little bit. And then we started going to the gym together, and then I would basically just plan all of my shifts for whenever Mike was managing. And then me and Mike just built a friendship. We'd go to the gym together, and then his student house was actually next door to my ex-girlfriend's student house. So then we got even closer, and I was like, this is literally sick. Like people say about like proximity brings you, like that's your foot in the door.
You guys like networking by going out in the lash together.
Yeah, and
what
then
do you call it? Like we're gonna get mortal, yeah, from
mortal,
from Geordie Shore quality.
So then, and then Mike left. No, and then I moved to like Ireland and started doing my YouTube channel just as like a hobby, just trying to learn about cameras and photography and all this stuff. And then Mike started a YouTube channel, and then he'd message me like, oh, what tripod should I use? What lens should I buy? And I was like helping Mike with all the equipment side of things. And eventually, probably about 2 or 3 years later, my videos got a little bit better.
I remember when you were living in Belfast.
Started working with Rob Lipsett. So I drive down to Dublin from Belfast at the weekend, work with Rob Lipsett, help Rob with his YouTube channel. Then Mike saw Rob's YouTube videos that I was doing for him. And then Mike basically messaged me being like, I was texting Mike every day when I was in a 9-to-5, just doing an office job, which I hated. Texting Mike like being like, how the fuck do I get out of here? Like, I don't know. I need to get out of here. I don't know how to escape it. And then he was like, oh, would you like to come and basically travel the world with me for 3 months?
Let me think.
And I was like, I would absolutely love to. And then obviously I had to take the risk of basically going to travel the world with Uncle Mike and quitting my very comfortable, easy 9-to-5. And also basically had to speak to my ex-girlfriend at the time and be like, is it okay if I go and do this? Like, it's my dream. And she obviously very kindly at the time was like, yeah, of course, go and do it. Like, this is what you want to do. She was very supportive of me.
That's sick.
And then that was pretty much, that was it.
So I can actually think back to some of these videos. I remember some of the ones with Rob, like featuring the famous having more protein milk. I'm sure you probably missed that stuff. I showed Fabian some of that when he was in Ireland recently. That was when Rob, his old videos, they're just a key part. They're cultural institutions of Ireland.
Literally.
Like Rob's protein pancake video and stuff that showed me the way.
The calorie challenges.
Oh, bro, top tier videos, great times. But I remember some of these videos as well with Mike, the famous red trunks and all those like thumbnails that you were probably like whipping up.
Yeah.
But some of these trips, so there was like a Dubai one that you guys did.
Dubai was the first trip we ever did together, and basically that was like a test. And Mike was like, if you come with me 10 days, I'll pay for everything. And if you make me 3 really good YouTube videos, then I'll hire you full time. And I was like, sick. And it was actually that was like Mike's transitional moment, like a big change in Mike's YouTube career, because up until that point, all of Mike's YouTube videos had been fitness, completely fitness orientated, and he had never really filmed a vlog or any travel style videos. So we put up the Dubai, like our week in Dubai, like kind of like a montage of everything we'd been up to over the full week. And it was like 50-50 feedback in terms of like some people hated it and some people absolutely loved it. And Mike, then obviously this is what happens when you are a content creator, but often you pay more attention to the negative comments rather than the positive comments. And Mike was like, oh fuck, like I don't know if this is a good idea, maybe I should just stick to fitness. And I was like, right, let's just basically like create a system where we do 2 fitness videos, and for every 2 fitness videos we'll do like a vlog lifestyle type video. And now
idea, yeah.
Well, yeah. Both he wanted to do it and I knew that he wanted to do it, and I was just kind of the voice in his head that pushed him to like be like, come on, I think we should do this. One, because if I'm being completely honest, I much preferred traveling the world and filming lifestyle vlogs rather than filming Mike doing 3D delts.
Let's just go to Thailand, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
10 exercises to grow your deltoids. And I'm like, fuck's sake. So I obviously preferred the traveling and the lifestyle type of vlog. So I really tried to guide Mike into doing more of those. And then, to be honest, for a while, people didn't like it. Like 50% of people were just unsure. Oh, like, Mike, you just need to stay in the gym. Like, we only followed you. We only subscribed for fitness advice. And then, I don't know, I think Mike just transitioned from there. And now it's kind of gone full circle because Mike's actually started a new channel, Mike Thurston Coaching, which again is blowing up again because people just love like fitness advice and tips.
Yeah. Bro, I remember some of those tutorials back in the day. It's like Mike in that old gym in Newcastle.
Yeah.
And just like comically large and stuff and just like doing these really in-depth tutorials. But like, I really enjoyed that transition. And where I remember, I think when that transition fully happened, I remember looking in summer 2020, and obviously this was like during the pandemic, but you two were still like traveling.
Yeah.
And I remember those videos. I remember looking at those videos. It actually properly informed how I wanted to live my life, because I was looking at the videos in COVID. I was like, man, I gotta be living like these guys. Like I gotta be doing this. And this was, when did you guys start traveling then? I remember the Ibiza videos in that summer 2020.
That was the first summer, yeah. That was my first experience of Ibiza. We did like the O Beach VIP treatment, like the funniest YouTube videos ever. We actually went to like the Bali house. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes. Yeah,
where it was like basically like OnlyFans cam girls, and like we did a collab with the like, fuck, that was just so funny. But yeah, that was like peak life. And I think, as I was just saying to you before we even had before we started the podcast, before we started recording, is like I've learned, Mike has been like my mentor over the last 10 years. Yeah, pretty much 10 years we've been friends now. And like my mentor without me ever having to actually like pay him, which has been pretty cool. And the biggest takeaway that I've learned from Mike has been to just create a life of like freedom. So like, it's funny, like, I don't know if you saw the recent vlog, but me and Mike just wake up on a Monday morning and we just go to Kite Beach, which is like a nice beach in Dubai, hire e-scooters and just drive up and down in the sun.
Love Kite Beach.
And then get breakfast, go to the gym, get the car washed, and that's pretty much our day done.
It's mad. Like, I feel like he's like navigated himself to a position, and like now you both have, like we were chatting before this of how you've just navigated yourself into that position. But like, it's like looking at those vlogs in 2020, I think that transition kind of happened where I was like, obviously he built up his coaching app, you've now built up Creators Club. Like, feel like the big learning from him is like he's actually navigated his life to do very little that he doesn't want to do.
Exactly.
And that's kind of made that transition yourself.
Yeah, I think that's been probably the number one thing that I learned from Mike. Like, I've experimented with lots of different things, of different forms of income, like doing one-to-one coaching and all of that stuff, which I really enjoyed with my clients. But I always just found like that even though I loved working one-to-one with my clients, I would always kind of, if I would try and schedule all my calls for like a Wednesday, for example, like in the middle of the week. And then I was fine doing that when I didn't have, like when I wasn't traveling, when I was in Madrid, when I was based in Madrid and I didn't really have anything to do. But then whenever I'd go and travel to like Bali, to Thailand, to Dubai or whatever, then I'd find it like so annoying that I'd have to sit in the house and do calls all day on a Wednesday. And then just, I told you, I spent a month in September, and I spent like 2 weeks with Mike in Ibiza in September. And just, again, like watching Mike, how he lives his lifestyle, how he makes his money, and his priorities. Like Mike's number one priority in the world is going to the gym, getting his workout in, and doing like an hour of tanning. And it made me realize like I don't want anything different from Mike. Like
you can just do that.
Yeah. So that's kind of my biggest lesson from Mike, is just to don't do anything that you don't really want to do. I know that sounds a little bit, I don't know, there's a word like hedonistic, I think that might be it.
Yeah.
And I think for people that are watching this, like I have been doing content for like 9 years now, and I have done the grind. Like I've stayed up all night editing videos for Mike, for Rob, for myself. Like I've already been through the grind stage, and now because I have built like obviously a much smaller personal brand than Mike, I can monetize it in different ways where I don't have to do any, like for example, I have my Creator Club call, which is once a week, and it might take me like 3 or 4 hours to plan the call, but I absolutely love it because I love teaching the stuff that I'm actually passionate about, and that fulfills me. Another big thing with the Creator Club is doing a monthly trip around the world. So we just had the Valencia High Rocks. Next week we've got a Christmas trip in Manchester. Next year we've got Cape Town. We've got a ski trip. We've got Ibiza half marathon, and we've got like that's like my main commitment, is showing up for them trips and making sure everyone has a good time. We just did a 4-day trip in Dubai last month with all the guys from the Creator Club. So like,
looks sick.
That for me, that's the dream, to basically have a group of guys where we travel around the world together, make content, share business ideas, and have a good time. So I'm pretty content and very happy with how everything's going, to be honest.
Those trips always look so sick on your Instagram. I want to go into the Creators Club like very deep in a sec, but I like kind of one thought that's kind of stuck with me there in terms of going on like that peak lifestyle is like, I've sometimes looked at like your guys' videos in like the last couple of years, and it's kind of like interesting how some core things from that lifestyle just don't change. Like I feel like there are a couple of, like you said, like gym and getting sunlight are like key priorities for Mike and for you as well. But like it's interesting how I feel like there's like a life that you guys just want to live and like keep living it. Like I sometimes do lol where like I look in like Mike's videos this year in like Marbella or something. It's like, all right, 5th, 6th year in a row. It's like, guys, welcome to the video. We're back in Marbella. I'm like, I've seen this one before. I'm gonna keep watching. I don't care. It looks sick. But like, I feel like I'm not like fully there, because like I still do work a comical amount, but like I do see the like that lifestyle. Actually, it's interesting. It's one that nearly doesn't. I don't want to say it doesn't need to evolve, because obviously certain elements do change, but it doesn't really need to change all that much. Like it is pretty simple fundamentally. Like if you train well, get sunlight, eat good food, and have good mates, you kind of don't really need much more from there. Obviously a good woman as well.
No, you really don't.
That's basically it.
I would 100% agree with that. And I think that's also another reason why, say for example, somewhere like Bali can be quite dangerous, because you can live that lifestyle where you get the sun, you go for a walk on the beach, you go to the gym, you do sauna, ice bath, you play paddle, and you don't really need to do anything else. And it doesn't cost very much money at all. So you could just do that forever and live in like a little bubble and in the comfort zone. And like, I think after a while that can be quite detrimental, and you just get a little bit too comfortable and you realize that you're actually not really moving the needle forward. And I think that's why going to somewhere like Dubai, where everyone is like smashing it, or surround yourself with people who are doing better than you, number one is the main like motivation and inspiration. But I think as well, like for Mike, the biggest, I think, and most beneficial transition that he's done over the last few years is doing the podcast. Like that's his main focus now. I would say the most, like from his time and energy spent, I would say the majority of it goes into his podcast and like organizing guests, prepping for the podcast. Like I think he's putting out minimum 1 a week, sometimes 2 a week.
Sick.
And I think the transition for Mike to go into podcasting just was so beneficial for his personal brand, because it took him from like just the fitness guy with like the abs and the red shorts to like someone who's far more articulate and intelligent, and like again, like doing a podcast is like a cheat code to life, because you get these amazing guests, you get to hear people's stories. There's no phones, there's no distractions. You get like a one-on-one, like deep dive conversation with someone for an hour or two, and you can learn so much and also provide a load of value to whoever's listening, which I think is a game changer.
Yeah, like being sick, obviously, probably as well for his personal development. You know?
Exactly.
And so you can, like, obviously very good monetarily too. You can buy all the red shorts he wants.
Exactly, literally.
Even all the colours of shorts.
Literally.
Like, however many shorts you want. But yeah, like, I think that has been like a huge evolution there. I mean, on the Bali point, I think, yeah, like it's important, like you're looking after the main thing in Dubai, but also enjoying yourself. I feel like in Bali, honestly, I don't want to sound like judgmental, but you find many geezers who are there and they're like 48 and they're like kind of doing that. They're kind of like, mate, you kind of got to nearly move on past this stage a bit, you know? Exactly.
And I think, like, that's the thing.
There we go. Okay. We just got the main camera on that we were meant to have on the whole time, but...
How long were we rolling for?
I think 25 minutes, but it just adds authenticity.
Thank God we had the backup camera.
Yeah, legit. Thank God that one's there. Shout out to the DJI. But yeah, it just adds authenticity to the whole raw aesthetic.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, people also don't understand, like, when you're putting yourself out there, when you're trying to create content, like, people think it's easy just to do a podcast or start a YouTube channel or start an Instagram page and grow a personal brand. Like, they don't realize how much effort goes into setting up this camera, setting up that camera,
making sure it's turned on.
Making sure it's turned on. Like, carrying mics around in your suitcase everywhere. Like, one microphone broke on the way back from Miami. Like, there's a lot of, like, moving parts. So, like, whenever you're watching someone's content and you can see that they're making an effort to put themselves out there and add value to your life, like, I think you should give this video a little thumbs up and a little comment, because it's a lot of work. There's a lot of things that can go wrong. Like, one of the mics might not be plugged in. Hopefully the mics are plugged in.
They're all good.
But anyway, shout out to the DJI, because...
saved our arses there.
It did save our arses.
Massively. I mean, on traps, right? So, like, on these places that can be traps, I sort of felt this when I lived in Marbella for a little bit. Like, but we fast forward a little bit from when you, like, obviously Mike goes to Dubai, Rob then goes to Marbella. A lot of your friends are, like, kind of dotted around the place. And you get forward to this part of, I think, 2020, 2021, where you started living in Ibiza. Now, like, I've been to Ibiza 3 times, like holidays with my mates. I could not imagine living there.
Worst mistake ever.
I feel like it would just fry your dopamine receptors, like, irreparably. But, like,
well, it definitely does. I just told Connor before we even started this, but, like, obviously I spent a month in Ibiza in September, and, like, for anyone that doesn't know me, I'm just literally all or nothing. And, like, I hope my main goal in life is to hopefully, before I die, find some sort of balance. Find some sort of middle ground somewhere, because I'm literally just all or nothing. So, like, right now I've been sober for pretty much a month, 26 days. I will make it to a month, but I'm just, like, constantly on this, like, roller coaster of, like, sending it so fucking hard and then, like, and then being sober. So yeah, after a month in Ibiza in September, I mean, I hosted a mastermind and I did an ultra marathon. So I ran 100 kilometers across the island, and then I just, because I, like, suffered, like, because I did the hard thing first, then I was like, oh, now I have more reason to really let go and enjoy myself. And then I just pushed it too hard. So, like, the whole of October I was in a pretty bad way. So yeah, I lived in Ibiza for 2 years. I basically, the reason that I lived in Ibiza was because I went with Mike for the first time ever, and I loved it. And then we went back. Yeah. And then we went back again in October for the closing parties. And every time I go to Ibiza, it just seemed to get better and better. And then I was like, I basically just had, like, this midlife crisis, but just way earlier. And I broke up with my ex-girlfriend after being with her for 10 years, mainly just because she was like a home bird, like, just, you know, like how some Irish people are, just good Catholic Irish woman.
Yeah.
And I wanted to travel the world and build my personal brand and build my YouTube and collaborate with other people, and I wanted just basically to be free, and she wanted to be with her family at home. And I think it would have actually been more selfish for me to, I'm not just saying this like to, like, as an excuse, but, like, I think it would have been more like, every time we did go traveling, after a week or so, she would get, like, super homesick, she'd be crying, she'd be calling her mum, like, and I always felt like I was kind of taking her away from her family and from what she actually loved. Like, she was just so content at home, and she did like traveling, but only for, like, a week at a time, whereas I just wanted to be, like, on the road all the time. And so that relationship came to an end, and I was like, okay, I want to go to Ibiza. I want to move there. So I got like 2 of my good friends together. We got this sick apartment on the beach in Playa d'Embosa, probably the worst place you could ever choose to live, in terms of, well, good in that you're a 1-minute walk to High and Ushuaia,
Bro.
but bad in every other.
Living beside High is just like an absolute hazard.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
So we got the sickest apartment between the 3 of us, 3 bedrooms. We had a sick rooftop with jacuzzi, like terrace. We had all the DJ stuff set up there. And for the first year, like, it was my first time being single pretty much ever since I was like 17. And at this point I'm 27, 28. And I had never been single before. I had never not lived with like my parents or my ex-girlfriend's parents. And I was like, fuck, this is freedom. Like, and then obviously got sucked into the party lifestyle, which I guess is what happens in Ibiza. Like, obviously there's other nice things to do, nice restaurants, beaches, all of that stuff, but you can do that and party. And the first year was literally like just unreal, because I was pretty much virgin to the island and to parties.
Yeah.
So the first year was amazing. And then my friends were like, all right, okay. Everyone by the end of the first year started to go like pretty west, like just
the effects of 1 year in Ibiza would do that to you. Like, yeah.
And
effects of 4 days would do it to you, like, you know.
And you'll notice, like, living on the island in the winter and stuff, and when you've got the people who are like the veterans of Ibiza, like, I don't want to stereotype or generalize, but like, I would say 70% of the people who live in Ibiza have like a few screws loose, I would say.
It's a lot of like Wayne Lineker types, like not knocking about the place.
And the thing is, to live in Ibiza, like, you have to have like a decent amount of money, and most people that do live there love to party, and they've already made their money. So like, they're not really focused on business or growing their businesses. Like, they've already made their money and they've completed life. So now they're just enjoying Ibiza. So my friends left, and I was like, fuck it. I just met Cindy, and I was like, I want to just continue living this life. I don't want it to end. So I kept my apartment on by myself, which was a mistake because it was very expensive. And I, for some reason, thought that I'll just find a way, like what I always do. So me and Cindy lived there for another year. And then obviously my apartment had 2 spare bedrooms. So like every single weekend there would just be different groups of friends flying in. And like, no matter how much I wanted to stop and detox and rest and not party, it was just physically impossible. Like, let me stay with you and I'll pay for your weekend, or like, it was always just like this. And there was just like fresh people flying in, and I was just like dying and getting considerably like worse and worse.
Yeah. And
so
paying for everyone's shit as well. It's like a dangerous game.
Yeah. And like, at this point as well, we had made loads of good connections in Ibiza, so we didn't have to pay to get into clubs anymore. We didn't have to queue anymore. Like, we didn't have to pay for drinks. And it's just, from there, it's just I mean, I had lots of fun. I don't regret it. And it was probably some of the best couple of years of my life. All of my core memories were made there, and a lot of my previous core memories were just erased for various reasons.
Yeah.
Like, I couldn't, after living for 2 years in Ibiza, I couldn't remember like a 4-digit code.
Mate.
So
God.
I don't recommend living in Ibiza unless you've got extreme willpower, or unless you go and live in like the north of the island, like away from everything.
Mate, I just couldn't even imagine that. Like, the 3 times I've been there, they've been like short trips, and like you come in, like smash it and go. Like, but I mean, it's the way people party, the way people from like England, Ireland. It's just like such a like all or nothing way of partying. Like, it's because it's like potentially like some of like they're like 4 days in a row, probably the only 4 days in a row that you're guaranteed great weather, like your whole year, like
Exactly,
really good weather.
exactly.
And it's kind of like feast or famine kind of mentality. Like, I see some Spaniards who go over there, and it's like it's like they just do it a different way because it's not as feast or famine. Like, the first time I went there, it was 2023, and I was living in London at the time. And like, the flight from Gatwick compared to the flight from Madrid to Ibiza is just like a different world, man. Like on Gatwick, there's lads already getting on it. Like, on the flight, they're like just like trying to chat up flight attendants and all, and they're
got the speaker going.
Oh, the speaker going.
Vapes are out.
Oh man, the amount of like Premier League jerseys you see on there is just not right. And you see people coming over from Madrid, and it's such a different mentality. I feel like the way like we don't help ourselves, like
we don't. And I think like sometimes people forget this, because people give me a hard time when I've pushed it a little bit too far with the parties or drinking the beers, but I think people don't realize, like, obviously my audience is from all over the world, and I think they don't understand like British culture, and like pretty much all we do, like have ever done is just go to the pub and drink beers. And so if you can put us in a country with lots of sun and beaches and even cheaper beers, then it's pretty much just a disaster. Like there's only one thing we know how to do. Like, why do you think, like, if you go to the pub in the UK or Ireland at like 6 a.m, everyone's on the pints? Like, that doesn't really happen in most other places.
Not at all. It's like there's no pacing going on. It's
No.
just like all out, like full, like Jurgen Klopp football, just like proper like gegenpressing the whole way, like all fucking 10 men high up the pitch in the opponent's half.
I even notice it here in Madrid. Like, I sit and I'll watch people and they'll like nurse a caña. For anyone that doesn't know what a caña is, it's like,
330 ml or something.
yeah, like it's not a half pint. Is it more or less than a half pint?
I'd say it's a little bit more.
A little bit more than a half pint, and they'll nurse a half pint, like a caña, for like an hour, whereas I'm doing like 3 or 4 of those in an hour, and I'm like, how do these people do this? Like, I just don't understand. But it's just English, British, Irish drinking culture. Like, it's pretty much all we know how to do.
Yeah, it's just like 3 gulps and it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Then like the Spaniards are like sipping away, like pacing themselves. Yeah, like on the kind of like the Ibiza culture kind of thing, I do think like it certainly has its place. Like, I think it's an amazing place to just go and like live it up to the max for a short period of time. But I feel like you only have a few of those trips in you.
Well, yeah, I think I'm all out. I'm definitely all out of my Ibiza trips. But,
yeah, I'm probably not going back.
And that's the thing. Those people who have never been to Ibiza will just never understand until they've actually been there. Like, even when I'm the most locked in ever, like last year, for example, I pretty much did the whole year sober, but I still had to, like, I just couldn't not go to Ibiza for a few days. And I went and I broke my sobriety and I felt the worst that I've ever felt ever, but it was still worth it.
Yeah, it's just all out intensity like the whole time.
So I just don't know if I'll ever be able to get like over it.
Here's the thing, like in defense of Ibiza, let's say, right, on your balance point in terms of like finding balance at some point, I think if you like change the time horizon, like you can find balance a little bit easier. Like if you think about like balance throughout the course of a day, I think it's extremely hard, nigh on impossible to achieve that. Even in the course of a week, it's a little bit trickier. But like if you have like throughout the course of a year, if you have 1 month where you're pretty like AFK and you go off on trips like that, and like when you go to like the best places and you have like a sick party for like, you know, 2 weeks there, you recover, like do that like 2 weeks in July, 2 weeks in August, and then just kind of keep things at maintenance all the way along for those 2 months. Like in the course of a year, you've probably had like your fill of partying, and it's like an acute stressor versus a chronic stressor. Like if you were doing like, it's like why if you were doing a little bit of training, or like runners who don't do weight training, like they can often fuck themselves up because it's like a chronic stressor all the time. It's just like gnawing away at you. But then if you have an acute stressor like weight training, you don't do much, you sprint like throughout the week, you then sprint and like break down your muscle, then you give yourself adequate time to recover. Like those stressors are really good for you. I'm not saying a week in Ibiza is good for you, but like, you know, you can say throughout the course of a year, I think it's easier to find balance. Do you know what I mean? You could go from being locked in to being like degen for a bit and then go back to locked in.
No, and I think for like most young guys, well, this is speaking from how I feel, but like I think a good blowout every now and then is like very much necessary. Like just a little reset, like just blow the cobwebs off. And also I think that as well, like I can honestly so happily not party anywhere else, like because it's just been a little bit snobby because I know how good the experience is of partying in Ibiza, like the sound system, the DJs, and I would say most importantly, like the crowd of people. Like everyone that goes to Ibiza, they're there to have a really good time, and the majority of people are probably on something or high, and that means like that there's no fights, there's no arguments, like it's all love, and people are there because they actually enjoy the music. Whereas if you go to like a club in I don't know, just anywhere in the world, or like a festival, and like people aren't high, or like people just go to those events. Like sometimes people go to a festival or like a certain club night or like Kind Music in London or whatever. But like if you go to like a super hyped DJ in, say for example, like I don't know, I don't want to say this, but it might sound bad, but like the culture of house music and partying in Ibiza brings all the right people. Like, of course, there's some idiots, and like obviously try and stay away from certain areas in San Antonio because that's also like a very generic type of person. But in the actual clubs like Pasha and High stuff, people are there just to party, to listen to the music, to hear their favorite DJ, and to like just let go and relax. And that's what I really like. And whenever I go to a party somewhere else in the world, like it just doesn't feel the same at all. And like I just don't enjoy it. Like I would never have like the fear of missing out a party anywhere else in the world, but I would like I would miss going to a party in Ibiza.
I know what you mean, man.
There's only one other place actually, Tulum.
Oh man.
Have you been?
Nah, never.
Really good party scene.
I'd love to go there. Hey, I'm actually working on a theory a little bit in the back of my mind now, which is that blowouts, like proper blowouts, are actually really good for productivity long term. I if you were to quiz me on it now, I think you'd probably poke some holes in the argument, but like I've kind of been working on this in the back of my mind, where like sometimes when you're so locked in, you get so path dependent on something that like you build up all of these habits, and also even small things that you're working on that don't serve the business at all and don't actually help it go forward. And then when you go and have like a blowout, it sort of like blows out your short-term memory of like all the things you've been doing. So when you come back on a Monday, you're kind of the only things that really come back with you are the essential things, which absolutely will move the needle forward. So
this is actually so interesting.
So it's basically like my theory is sort of like when you're really locked in for extended periods of time, a lot of actual wasteful stuff comes in, and you start to work on stupid stuff that won't move the needle forward. Like, and also you sort of like, you know, there are two main like tracks of thought in your brain. One is called the main one like that we think of when we think of productivity is called like the task positive network. This is when you're like in a deep work block, timer on, coffee in probably, and like you get very like tunnel vision onto a specific task. That's the task positive network. When we think of productivity, we think of optimizing the task positive network. It's kind of like getting the most out of the sessions that we're in. When the second mode is sort of the ambient thought in your brain. It's called the default mode network. This is like when you're chopping up vegetables, you're out in a run, or you're having a shower, or you're doing whatever. It's sort of just active. It's like the ambient kind of thought track in your brain, what we consider to be like us, the self.
Yeah.
So when you're in the task positive network all the time, like when you're working really long hours, what happens is like, you know, all the big insights actually all come from the default mode network. And so when you're really locked in and hammering the task positive network and you think that's the only way to improve productivity, it suppresses the big insights massively. So if you actually give your brain time to breathe, oftentimes it allows some of like the bubbling of thoughts to come up, and all of the information that you've gathered in previous weeks or months, depending on how long that period of being locked in has been, a lot of these bubble to the surface, and like your subconscious is able to sort of process them. And so if you don't ever have a period of time where you just let the default mode network do its thing, you actually never get any of like, you'll get the small percentage gains from the task positive network, but you don't get the 10x unlocks, where it's like you could build up a partnership that completely changes the business, or you could decide on doing like a content style that gets all the right kind of viewers. Like when I did a podcast with my friend Jacob, all of a sudden a couple of like the exact kind of brands that we want to work with for the agency came inbound, because I kind of had shelved the podcast for a long time because I didn't like having to do it every week. I wanted to just talk to people I really wanted to talk to and just do it whenever I wanted to do it. And so if you were always go, you never let your brain breathe and like let things bubble to the surface, but also small habits creep in that don't get you anywhere you want to go. So when you have a big reset, like a blowout, you're left with only the essentials, and you're able to sort of rebuild up the context length in your brain with like the right stuff.
I 100% agree, and this actually happened to me this year, which is really interesting. So the Creator Club, which is my main business, is, for those that don't know, it's a community, and we have like, right now we have 175 members from all over the world. Yeah, it's going good. So 175 members from all over the world, and the reason I started the Creator Club was to help people basically escape their normal jobs, the 9 to 5 or whatever it might be, just traditional jobs, through content creation. So through building a personal brand. And there's people in every single niche: accountants, online coaches, designers, videographers, editors. There's people in every single different niche and industry imaginable inside the Creator Club. Now, one thing that I had, like this epiphany that I had after a big blowout, literally just in September, was people can't make good content if they aren't the best version of themselves. So if you are having, for example, relationship troubles, you can't show up online how you want to be, like, because your mind, you're just not in the right space. You're not in the right frame of mind. You're not there because you're dealing with some other shit. If you are trying to make content and you're trying to help people improve their lives, you're trying to provide value, but you're broke and you have no money and you're in loads of debt, you also can't really help other people. You can't really be telling people how to live or what to do or how to improve their lives. If you are extremely successful, you've got loads of money, but you've actually got no friends, you've got no social circle, and you spend all day alone and you're actually pretty unhappy even though you've got all this money, then you're also still not really in the best position to make content. So I had this like epiphany where I was like, okay, I want to change the way that the Creator Club works, and I want to still help people escape the 9 to 5 through content creation, because that's like my bread and butter. That's what I do. Like, that's what I've been doing for the last 9 years, is content and personal branding, all of that stuff. But I want to change it ever so slightly so that we're working on ourselves. So I basically created like 4 different pillars. I call it life maxing now. So the purpose is just to max out in all aspects of your life, your pillar. So if you think of like a video game character, like if you're choosing a character to complete the game with, you're going to choose the one whoever's got like the highest stats across all areas. So if you have like relationships, if you have like wealth, if you have lifestyle and experiences, I think that's a really important one for me, because so many people just get like sidetracked and they just focus all in on their work, on their business, and they never go and travel, they never see any new places, they never go and explore, they never experience anything new, they stay in the comfort zone. So we've got lifestyle experiences, relationships, wealth, and then we have health and wellness. Again, if you're not physically healthy, well, and fit, if you've got an illness, if you've got a sickness, if you've got a disease, if you've got an injury, you're not going to be able to perform at your best. So I basically changed things around. This all came after my trip to Ibiza, when I realized like something needs to change here, because I can't be telling people to make content if people are messaging me in my community saying that they're struggling with all of these problems that I've just mentioned. So as well as helping people create better content to make money online, I want to help them actually like max out their life, like work on all areas of their life, not just content. And so this is where like this big transition came from. And that also meant that as soon as I announced the change on my Instagram, on my social platforms, I started getting so many messages from people being like, oh, I'm so happy about this new change. I really want to be part of a community of like-minded young guys, but I have no interest in content. So like, I've never wanted to, I'm actually a private guy. I don't want to be on social media, but I do want to be around like-minded people, and I do want to work on myself. I'm very interested in self-improvement and personal growth. So now that the Creator Club is not just for creators, I've changed it so that it's now about creating a better life, rather like, because technically we're all creators, we're all creating something, or we should be on a daily basis, or trying to. That should be the end goal, to create something, make an impact on the world. And so since I've made this transition, the calls that I do on a weekly basis now, obviously we have like 50-50, some 50% are on content and 50% are just on like personal development and working on these 4 pillars and trying to improve all aspects of your life. And I don't think that there's like epiphany, this change in my whole business would have came, maybe it would have, but it came directly after my Ibiza trip.
Very interesting. Yeah, like with any productivity advice, it's all about optimizing the task positive network. We never think about upgrading our rumination or like upgrading the default mode network. I mean, that does bring us nicely to the Creator Club, because I wanted to chat about this, and we were chatting about it before. And for me, because I'm going to join, basically, obviously it's changed a lot now in terms of how you bring people on, how you develop them, and all the rest of it. It's not just content, it goes a good bit deeper. Like for someone like me, and maybe someone else who's like looking at this and maybe wants to join, they've like done a bit of content, maybe they've done none, to be fair. Like how does it look from like when they start? Like what would you kind of like work on with someone who's, say, fairly fresh into content? Like what do you need to teach them, both in terms of themselves and like those pillars, and then also content wise?
Oof, very good question. Very, very good question. So funnily enough, whilst I have been like extremely locked in for the last month, I've actually, in August when I was in Montenegro and I had nothing to do, I decided like all of the most common asked questions that I get on a daily basis on Instagram from members in the Creator Club on the calls, I basically created like a course. And again,
the changes people need to make, like let's say if you were taking me for example, like the Creators Club pretty soon.
So a new recruit joins, and they're pretty fresh. They don't really have any followers. They haven't really made content before.
Yeah, like what kind of things do you need to teach them, and like what do you need to get them doing, both in terms of their content, like what they need to learn, but then kind of on the pillars as well?
Okay, so this is constantly changing. Let's focus on Instagram for now, because that's what the majority of people want to grow. Very, very difficult to do Instagram and YouTube. Like very, very difficult to do both at the same time. And that's something that I think definitely holds me back on both is trying to do both at the same time all the time. However, it has been beneficial because like a YouTube audience is having an audience on YouTube is the strongest platform you could possibly, because people are watching your videos for 20 or 30 minutes instead of 30 seconds. So that's one thing. But for Instagram, so whenever you're starting out, first of all, like a lot of people think that they need to find a niche, and I would recommend that you do find a niche. And as you become more confident on camera and you kind of get a little bit more confidence, you can kind of spread out your niche. Alex Hormozi always says like a good sandwich doesn't just have one ingredient, which I think is quite a good example. So when I go to Subway, I get like I love
a BMT.
Same.
Top tier.
So like one ingredient, like it's good to have a niche in the beginning because then the algorithm, basically if you pick a niche, the algorithm will help you. So I'll give a really good example of this, okay? So Instagram has just launched a thing called trial reels over the last year, which a lot of people have had access to. I didn't have access to it at all. And trial reels means that you can post a reel and it will get shown to non-followers, okay? So you can post a video and it will get shown to people outside of your audience. And the algorithm will decide on who to show that to. So I literally got access to trial reels last week and I posted my first ever trial reel. So most people would post a trial reel and it's something that they want to post, but they wouldn't necessarily want to show to their current audience. Maybe they feel embarrassed, or maybe it's a bit silly or a bit funny, or they just don't feel that comfortable sharing it to their current audience. When people start in their content creation career, a lot of people have one of the biggest issues that they face is that they're worried about what their colleagues might think, that their local friends, their friends from back home are going to take the piss out of them if they start taking Instagram seriously. People will call them cringe. People will take the piss out of them. Happened to me. Part of the process, part of the journey. And when you do eventually make it, all of those friends will then ask you to come and help them and support their businesses. And, oh, can you tag me in this? Can you do this? Like, that's just part of what happens. But so one thing, if you're worried about, first of all, what people are going to think about you, so family members, friends, colleagues, then I would say if you've only got 200 or 300 followers anyway, the best thing you can possibly do is start a brand new account, start fresh, and don't follow anyone that you know and don't tell anyone about it, because then you can actually show up as your true self and you're not going to make content in fear. You're not going to worry about people judging you. So starting a fresh account is a really good thing to do. I'd pick a niche because that's going to help the algorithm identify who to show your content to. So it could be fitness. Obviously, fitness is very saturated. If you were going to go into fitness, then I would pick a niche within fitness. Could be high rocks, could be bodybuilding, could be Whole Foods or whatever.
How to get away with drinking 12 pints a week and still be in good nick.
Exactly.
That would actually be a great niche.
That would be a good niche. There's actually a guy who does it. He's called Schooner Scorer. Have you seen him? He can run like a sub 3 hour marathon and fucking chin pints.
Loves the pints.
Yeah, I'll show him after. So like and exactly, like there is a niche for everything. So like don't think like you can think outside the box. Like his content is literally, he goes around all different pubs in Ireland and England and he rates the pints, and then he can still run a 10k in like 30 minutes. Like he's a machine. So like that's his niche. Like you are the niche. So normally whenever you're creating content, you want to be like trying to provide value. And the way that Instagram's going right now is it's pretty like extremely repetitive and boring. All these people like top 3 tips that if you want to hire a sales team, like it's just so generic, like everyone's doing it. And at the top of the chain, you've got Alex Hormozi, who has millions of followers and is an expert in that field. So you're never going to ever compete against someone like him. But the only way that you can compete against these people is by having your own voice and having your own personality and being like uniquely you. So there isn't really any new information out there, like unless you're like literally a genius. I don't think you're going to come up with any new ideologies or like information that people couldn't find elsewhere. So what you want to do is basically share your experiences, your value, whatever you know, like whatever skills you have in your own unique way, in your own voice, in your own words. And with Instagram especially, everything's kind of stepping away from these like super like cinematic, crazy edits, like dopamine, like blasters where you feel like, fuck, like what's going on here? And now in 2026, it's more so like picking up your phone, looking into the camera, talking to Instagram, your audience on Instagram, as if they're like your best friend, and talk like sharing an experience, a lesson, something that you've learned. like as a friend on FaceTime. And this is what's working really, really well now. And people are posting 2 or 3 videos a day like this because it's so easy to do. And people will either agree with you or disagree with you. But eventually, if you do this enough times, say, for example, this is what I tell everyone who joins, and especially creators who are just starting out, you need to post 100 videos before you can actually look at the data and see what's working and see what's not working. But what I recommend for most people, if they don't have a very specific niche, then they should pick like 3 or 4 content pillars. So for example, mine would be fitness, and then I guess lifestyle, and then I guess
growing a personal brand as well.
Yeah, growing a personal brand, content creation,
travel.
Travel. So like I have, if you look at my Instagram, it's very different to the majority of other people's. Mine's very lifestyle focused. Whereas if I had went all in on a very specific niche, I probably would have grown my Instagram a lot faster, but it would have been, I would have just a very specific type of audience and customer. Whereas because I've gone quite broad, I haven't grown as fast because my content is a mixture of everything, but I have, people can relate to it and they see my lifestyle and they look up to it. So you've got 2 different approaches, but it's very, very hard in the beginning to grow an Instagram account through lifestyle. Like unless you've already got an insane lifestyle, which the most people who are just starting out don't. So pick a niche, pick some content pillars, and basically like help the younger version of yourself. That's what I would say. Create content helping you 5 years ago, helping the you from 10 years ago, helping the you from even 2 years ago. Like if I think about it now, the content that I make on like mindset and personal development and self-improvement, that's aimed at Louis, who was in Ibiza, like partying, taking drugs, going crazy every single week. And so now the content that I create is to hopefully help someone who is like me, who's a bit stuck, who's a bit lost. Like I talk a lot about as well now about like setting goals. Like when I was in Ibiza, I didn't have any goals. I didn't look into the future. I didn't reflect. I didn't journal. I didn't ever take time for myself to actually think about what am I doing here? What am I aiming towards? So now, especially in the Creator Club on the calls, I talk a lot about like goal setting, journaling, reflecting, thinking deeply, asking yourself like difficult questions. And like, that's kind of the person that I'm trying to help now. So if you don't know where to start, if you don't know what to create content about, I would say start by creating content that helps the younger version of you.
That's proper clarity in that response. It's really, really helpful. Like even on a personal level for me, mate, pretty interesting that format, one of the formats you spoke about content-wise is what's working really well. It feels like a lot of people, they have a decent bit of knowledge on a couple of things. It's like pretty easy to make.
It is. And lots of people, when they first start out, they're so like concerned about like trends and the algorithm, and like they want to go viral. And like, I'll get onto my point because I started something on trial reels. I'll get to that in a minute. But for example, so many people want to go viral, and like, yes, when you do have a post that goes viral and gets 1 million views and you get all these likes and you get a few followers, like it spikes the dopamine. So like you feel like you've achieved something and it feels good and you're getting all this attention and you're getting all this likes and all these comments, and it does feel good. Like that's why social media is so addictive. But I would say in the very beginning, you actually don't want to go viral. Like I can give an example of one of my only reels that has ever gone viral on Instagram was a clip from a Bali run club. And I was like, posted on my Instagram story 24 hours ago, and now we've got 120 people running through a rice field in Bali.
Wow.
And that reel went viral, got 1 million views. And actually, I didn't gain anything from it. It didn't help my business in any way. It actually got a load of negative comments of people being like, look at these disrespectful tourists coming to Bali, running around the rice fields with no tops on. They don't respect the locals. And just like basically triggered like these conversations of people just hating on us going for a run at 6 a.m. in the morning in Bali. And the reel went viral, got lots of views, but I didn't grow any followers. I didn't gain any clients or new members to the Creator Club. Like it didn't do anything for me. So actually what you're much better doing is providing value to someone who could potentially be a customer or a client to you in the future. And that's through normally providing value. And so whenever people do go viral, like obviously you could get very lucky. You could go viral on something that would help your business, that's in your niche, and it could get you a load of followers who are going to be beneficial to you, who you could potentially sell something to or help in the future. But in most cases, the things that go viral are things that get shown to like the broader public, like more so NPCs who are going to just talk absolute shit and just don't understand what's going on anyway. That's the problem with going viral, is it gets shown to the broader public.
Yeah. Very few which are actually going to be interesting.
Yeah. And so most people have had access to trial reels for the last year. I just got it last week, and I posted my first trial reel, and it's of me and Cindy, my girlfriend Cindy. She's from Venezuela. She speaks not the best English, but we speak Spanglish to each other. And I hadn't seen Cindy for a month, so I filmed like a little Instagram story. It originally went on my Instagram story, and it was like me saying, "Oh, I'm back with Cindy," and it was a holiday in Spain. I can't remember what it was, on Monday, and it was like a specific holiday. And I said to Cindy, "What's the holiday today? Like, can you explain it to the guys on Instagram?" And Cindy just, obviously, as well, if you put a camera in someone's face, sometimes they get overwhelmed or like feel a bit intimidated. Yeah. So Cindy just said a load of like broken English, and it just came out really, really funny, but it was completely organic. It was completely authentic. It wasn't staged in any way. And I was like, that's actually really funny. I posted it on my Instagram story. It got loads of views, like 20,000 views on my Instagram story. And I was like, people obviously love this and think it's funny. So what I'm going to do, this is the perfect thing that I'm going to test as a trial reel and see how it goes. I posted it as a trial reel on Tuesday, and right now it's Saturday. It's on like 400k views. And then I tested another trial reel, and I was like, look, the niche here is I'm English and Cindy's Spanish. So the niche is it's a relationship from two people that don't speak the same language. So I basically posted another 2 trial reels that my real audience don't see, but the broader audience, the people who don't follow me, see, with me and Cindy trying to speak English and Spanish. And every single trial reel that I've posted within that kind of niche of trying to speak English and Spanish, like, has got a lot of views. Again, I don't necessarily want to post them on my main profile because that's not what my brand is about, but I can see the way the algorithm is working, and it's showing that content to those people who want to see people who are from 2 different countries who can't really speak the same language, but they're in a relationship. And you can learn, and like lots of people will say like, oh, the algorithm hates me, like I don't understand it, it's punishing me, like none of my posts ever, but it's because you haven't found your niche, you haven't found who you're talking to. So
very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting.
So now I would say one of the struggles for me is that I have such a huge umbrella of different things that I'm interested in and want to talk about on my Instagram and want to share on my Instagram: travel, running, fitness, whatever, Ibiza, like whatever it might be, Dubai, growing a personal brand. And what I've realized that if I actually do just stick and focus on one thing, it's going to help the algorithm identify my content and show it to the right people. So if one day I'm posting a fitness reel, the next day I'm posting a reel traveling to Dubai, the next day I'm posting how to create better content, talking about camera tips, the algorithm's going to get confused and it doesn't know who to show it to. So in most cases, when you're starting out, before you've built your brand, before you've got all the followers and subscribers, or before you've developed your audience, it's much better to focus on one thing because the algorithm then knows who to show it to.
Damn. Yeah, no, like lot to take in, but it all makes perfect sense. Have to get started the right way. Make more of those
trial reels.
Yeah, more of those trial reels.
And the thing is, you can experiment because it's not getting shown. Like your current audience aren't seeing it, so they don't even know what you're posting. And so again, if you are starting out, there's a few different types of reels that you can try. Ones that often get the most views, you'll see them all the time if you do scroll. Also, another tip for if you are starting in content creation, I recommend starting 2 new accounts. One, your own account for posting your fresh content to, so you're not worried about what your friends think. And second, I would create another account that you use just for research purposes. I don't know about you, but if I go on my explore page or my personal page, there's a lot of absolutely ridiculous memes about Ibiza and parties and drinking and lots of just stuff that, yes, I can watch it and have a laugh, but I'm not actually going to learn or gain anything from it. So start a new account, follow like your top 10 or 20 favorite creators, people whose content you absolutely love, and use that, like get off your usual account, your public account, the one that you just use to talk to your friends. Go on that one and spend a bit of time, maybe an hour every day, and have a look at what the explore page is showing you, because the explore page shows you reels that are already performing well. Then you can see the type of content that you actually already enjoy consuming from your favorite creators, and you can see their best top performing reels. And what you want to do, if you're in the same niche as them, is basically rinse and repeat the most popular reels in your niche. So if it's worked well for someone else already, copy the format, use your own unique voice, put your own twist on it, put your own personality into it, and just copy and paste, but in your own style. If it's worked for someone else, it'll probably work for you too.
Hey, that's so sick. Yeah, I mean, on the research point, it's a big belief I've probably changed in the last 3, 4, or 5 months. Is like through short form content, I've enjoyed it a lot more. I've been like a YouTube fiend pretty much all my life, but like on short form content, when it's good stuff, if you have that research account, you can actually learn a shitload from short form content. I actually think it's like almost easier to digest. I used to just think back in 2020 and stuff, nah, that's all brain rot. There's literally no upside to watching that stuff. But I actually find I learn way more from short form. Like actually doing that, there are multiple benefits. Like you learn loads of stuff. As you're looking at these videos as well, you just download what formats are working and start to like learn those in the back of your head. I do this for my e-commerce brand when I'm doing research for the ads, and I just look up organic content. I call it like brain rot research.
Yeah.
And like I'll just go through certain keywords for similar products, 2 hours. And while I look at content where I'm like, oh, we can get one of our creators to make a UGC ad or whatever that looks very like this one, I'm looking at the formats and I'm like, oh, well, like I can see how they've structured the ad. I can see how they've structured the organic post and why it's done well. So as you're going doing that, there's so many benefits. You actually learn loads, man.
Yeah. And I think another thing which is really important, which is kind of annoying, you'll know from YouTube, like the OG YouTubers like Sam Calder and stuff, like the guys who used to make the cinematic content, like back when I first started YouTube, like it was full of actual like creators, like artists, like people who love cameras, who love like creating movies and like
Jay Alvarez,
yeah
videos. Yeah.
Now the key on Instagram, the key with short form content is you need to have a hook. So you need to basically stop that person, whoever is on the explore page, and they're just swiping. You want to stop the scroll. And the only way you can do that is by hooking their attention in the first 3 seconds. So a lot of what we cover in the Creator Club is different hook styles. So how can you stop people from scrolling and actually capture their attention in that first 3 seconds, and then basically provide them with some value information in the next 10 seconds that's going to keep the viewer on your video and hold their attention, basically.
So sick, man.
There's a lot that goes into it.
It's like creatorclub.com. Like I'm sort of like asking for a
friend. Good question.
Like I'll be joining up. Like
I think it's thecreatorclub.co.uk. I don't know. Funnily enough, this is actually crazy. We don't ever use the homepage. Everyone that joins the Creator Club, they have to come through me, basically. So they just have to send me a DM on Instagram, because again, it's not so much that it's not really a course, it's a community. So, we've got 170 people. Every single person I've screened, or recently now on the Creator Club page, I've got Ryan, who's one of my good friends, and he's been in the Creator Club from day one. So he knows everything about the Creator Club. He can screen people on it's the Creator Club Instagram private page, public page. But the majority of people, I would say 95% of people, have to come through me, and I have to approve them, because we've got 175 people. One bad egg can spoil it for everyone.
Yeah.
And in our time, in the last 2 years, we've only had one bad egg.
Damn.
And that was not even they're not a bad person. They're not a bad egg, really, but they basically just tried to steal the business model.
Can't be having that.
Yeah. I understand that everyone wants to create a community, but like it was like basically self-promotion, like promoting his own community in my community, and his community was pretty much doing the exact same thing as mine, which I think like fair enough, business is business, but I just didn't think it was like morally the right thing for him to do.
Nice.
So he's pretty much like the only person that's ever been really kicked out.
Oh man, well, hope I get approved.
you get approved. You'll get approved.
Well, I was actually thinking when I saw the Whoop in yours and I got my Whoop, I actually realized coming in here I used Rob's code.
Oh, did you?
I think I might get approved now. I'm gonna be burnt out.
I'm disappointed by that. The Whoop as well. Everyone in the Creator Club has a Whoop. Pretty much every single person. The Whoop is have you just recently got that?
Yeah, I got it maybe about 6 months ago.
Damn.
I was thinking there, imagine me at like a dinner with like you, Mike, and Rob, and you're like, oh, so whose code did you use? You're like, oh man, I forget at this point. Yeah.
It's actually funny because I was one of the first like content creators to find out about the Whoop referral scheme. And so I'll just be completely honest, like if someone signs up to Whoop using my link, I'll get $50. And I was on it before anyone else even knew about it. Yeah. And then I stupidly told Uncle Mike about it. And then obviously, technically I did a mistake. Then Rob got. That was the final. Rob's only just recently got involved in the last year, but I've been on it now. It's my 5th year on Whoop.
Holy God, man!
So I've done pretty good from it. And I do love it.
No, it is sick. I mean, going on to like chronology and actually coming back again, we've been going for a while.
How long have we been going?
An hour and 14 minutes.
Nice. I could sit here all day.
Same as. I mean, I'm interested to bring Madrid into this. In the like when you got out of Ibiza, I think maybe Cindy had a couple of roots maybe in Madrid.
Yeah. So
like when did I remember seeing you in Madrid? I was like, oh fuck, like Louis moved here. This is.
I think you were the first person that messaged me.
I think so. Yeah. I think so. I think I'd messaged you when I was like, maybe I responded to one of your stories in the gym. I was like, oh, let's link up or whatever.
And this is actually funny. I did a legit check on you with Rob Lipset. I was like, Rob, do you know this guy? Because you follow him. He's like, yeah, he's a sound lad. Absolute sound lad. And I was like, okay, that's sick. We need to link up.
Rob sorted me out there. I hope he's forgiven. Like now you can forgive me for the Whoop code for using his.
But that's actually funny because you didn't really have that much content. You only had pictures. You didn't really have videos or anything like that. And I think like, again, if I hope that you are going to grow your socials now, but like your social media platforms are like pretty much like your portfolio, like your CV. Like you can, if someone goes to my Instagram, they can pretty much find out almost everything about me and see the way I am just by scrolling through my feed, and they can kind of determine what type of person I am. And I think that's like another thing in terms of like opportunities in business and stuff. Like I found it difficult to know much about you. I could tell that you were a legit guy. I could see you doing like talks at masterminds and stuff like that. And I could see like you had a good business and stuff, but I didn't really know what type of person you are. So that's again another good reason to start a personal brand. But yeah, Cindy has her business here. She has like a beauty salon. Her family's here. So like Cindy's life is in Madrid. And then she was like, we need to get out of Ibiza because it's literally destroying us. And I was like, oh. In my head, bro, I was like literally convinced that I'm going to live in Ibiza forever.
No.
Like that was my dream. And then I realized like, this is literally the worst idea ever. I need to get out of here. So I moved to Madrid and I stayed here for like 3 months.
What did you think?
I didn't have any friends. I was completely alone.
Very few people speak English.
Very few people speak English. My Spanish was literally terrible. Now at least I can understand everything and I can say like the basics to get by. And I didn't have any friends, and that's kind of, I went sober. So that was even more difficult because I'm just walking down the street and everyone's on the terraces drinking beers. And I was like, fuck, I would love to just be drinking beers in Madrid. But I went sober. And then I was like, right, I need some friends here. Cindy's got all her friends here. It was like an extreme lonely chapter for me. Like I was pretty depressed. I was like, fuck, I fucked up my whole life in Ibiza. I've lost all my brand deals. I'm absolutely broke. I've got no friends. And now I've got to go sober. So everything's even more depressing, not having any beers. And then that's when I came up with the idea of, I'm going to do a run club. So I just posted my Instagram stories. Anyone in Madrid, I'm going to host a run club every Saturday in Retiro. And eventually, after like 2 or 3 weeks, I met some like amazing guys. And that's pretty much like where the idea of the Creator Club came from. Like I realized like I have all these people around the world. Like I didn't know that I knew anyone in Madrid or anyone in Madrid followed me. I thought like everyone's Spanish here. Like there's no way that people will follow me. And so the run club, like everyone loved the run club so much. And it started to grow to like 20 people. And like everyone would be messaging me, oh, can we do another one midweek? Can we do one on Saturday and on a Wednesday? And I realized like people want community. People want to be like surrounded by other people and having these like conversations and hearing about each other's lives. And like there's a lot of lonely people out there that don't have friends like who are like-minded. And that's kind of the run club in Madrid. Then after 3 months in Madrid, I went to Bali, started the run club in Bali. And then I could just see how much people were loving like belonging to like a group of people, to a community. And my first run club in Bali, all the guys that came to that first one, there was about 15 guys. They are all now, they all didn't know each other. They're all now best friends and they're all living in Dubai together. They've all built businesses together. And I realized like that is the power of community, of bringing people together who aren't aware of who else is in the area, who else is an entrepreneur or building a business. And like, I just realized that I love bringing people together. Like if I go on my WhatsApp, all the groups on my WhatsApp, I'm the admin. I'm the one that created the groups on WhatsApp and brought these people together. And I realized like only now, after 10 years of doing Instagram and YouTube and content, that like my thing that I love is bringing good people together.
You do it well.
So that's, and again, I wasn't like really self-aware of this. It was like kind of subconscious that I was doing this. And then that's when I realized like can I do this, but for content as well?
I mean, you do a smashing job of it. In fairness, like, so
Madrid.
yeah.
What do I think of it?
Yeah, like, well, I actually didn't know that the Creator Club, the genesis for that, came while you were in
From the
Madrid.
Run Club, yeah.
That's mad.
And it's actually crazy. There's this,
2022.
yeah, this Spanish guy, Luis. Shout out to Luis. He loved the Run Club so much, and then when I went to Bali, he was absolutely gutted that like I wasn't going to be here to do the Run Club anymore, and he was bringing people every week to the Run Club too. And I was like, bro, you can just literally like take the Run Club and like do your own thing. You run it whilst I'm gone. My plan was to only go to Bali for a month, and I was like, then I'll be back and we can do it together. And then I ended up staying in Bali for like 3 months, and now, bro, like Luis used to just have like a normal job, like just typical Spanish guy. And now he's got like one of the biggest run clubs in Madrid. He's sponsored by all these Spanish companies and brands. He's sponsored by Lululemon. It's completely changed his life. And now he does like 3 or 4 events a week, not just run clubs.
Complete Chad.
And it's like literally changed his life.
Holy God.
So
Bro,
I think that's pretty sick.
Went from normal 21st century Spaniard to like bringing back Hernan Cortés and all the conquistadores, you know. He's bringing back the empire, bro. He's just like he wants to get at the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria, and fucking head off for the new world, man.
And bro, he literally loves it. Like he has like the flag, like he runs with like a flag in his back, like with his run club. Like hundreds of people come to his run club, like sponsored by like the big electrolyte brand in Spain. What I don't know the name.
Oh yeah, I don't know either, but I know, I can picture it. Yeah.
And yeah, bro, like it's like changed his life. And I think that's like the beauty of bringing people together and opening people's minds. Like that's why I love Bali and Thailand and Dubai and stuff, is because you hear what other people are doing and it opens your mind to see what's possible. Yeah. And I think for him, when he saw like the opportunity and all these cool people coming to the run club, he was like, this is fucking sick and I love this. And now it's like literally changed his life, which I think is sick.
What do we have to do to convince you to spend more time in Madrid each year?
You know, well, I'm limited.
That as a personal.
I'm limited to 3 months at a time,
yes.
So I need to get a Spanish passport, which I could technically get off Cindy.
I'll get a civil partnership going. Give you an Irish passport.
Yeah.
Be like, guys, you have to kiss for the photo. You're like, nah, lads, please. Like, we're not doing that. Do you know?
To be fair, me and Cindy have talked about this a lot, and it's a difficult conversation that we have at least once a week. Because Cindy wants a base. Cindy wants to settle down somewhere. Obviously, she wants to settle down in Madrid where she's got her family and her business and all that stuff. But I don't know. It's other than you and like a few other guys, I don't really know anyone here. And I love Madrid. But again, it's just, if I compare, like if I stay in Madrid for so long, like there's only so many YouTube videos that I can make in Madrid.
Yeah.
So like that's probably one of my difficulties. But I absolutely love Madrid. I think it's my favorite city. I love it.
It is so tough, don't it? Yeah, like you kind of can't have it all. We chat about this a lot in terms of like London, Dubai, Madrid, and even London, for all its flaws, it's still London. Like it still has so much opportunity. It has like that kind of aura. One of my friends who's from Kent and actually still lives in Kent, he says, this is so apt, he says, I feel like I could close my eyes in London and even I wouldn't hear what people are saying around me. I could close my eyes and know I'm there. It's like the energy in the city. I definitely have that. Even when I lived in London, loved it. But like Madrid, you don't have that access to just like top people. You don't see, you know, if it's content, you don't see your Mike Thurstons. If it's business, you don't see your George Heatons. If it's whatever, you don't really see them knocking around here. And that's the trade-off.
And I think if I really did want to push and grow everything and grow my platforms and grow my business, I do think Madrid could potentially hold me back. Maybe that's just an excuse, but there's a reason why George Heaton goes to LA and like travels the world. There's a reason why Mike is based in Dubai and continues to travel the world. Like it is difficult, I think. Like if you think of Rob Lipsett as well, like he's in a different phase of his life now where he's bought his absolutely sick villa. He's married. He's having kids.
He's lifting younger guys up.
Yeah.
In many respects, like Rob's putting people on, and he loves doing that. But like he's not in Marbella reaching out to like guys who are you know, business wise doing bigger things than him or whatever. Like in Marbella, he's the top dog.
Exactly.
He's Mr. Marbella.
He's the mayor of Marbella.
Literally, and he's bringing people on.
He is.
You know, and he's a top man for doing that. But yeah, even Marbella, I feel, would probably be a little bit limiting for you.
It would be. It's something that I need to really think about where I'm gonna settle. But I absolutely love Madrid. One thing as well about you saying that you just close your eyes and you know that you're in London. One thing that I love, and this again is probably a little bit kind of naive. I don't know what the word would be to describe it. Maybe you'll know better than me, but I love being in Madrid, and because I can understand Spanish, but I'm not fluent in it, I feel like I'm in my like own little untouchable bubble where I can go and sit in a bar, and I'm going to do it after this, have a few cervezas sin alcohol, and everyone's chatting, and I'm completely in my own world. Like, I don't hear if anyone's gossiping or being negative, or like, bro, there's not even any, there's like no chavs here. Like, there's no one that's gonna like hurt me or steal anything from me, or
no chavs, no snakes.
Bro, I can walk around with my camera anywhere, pretty much in Spain, but especially in Madrid, in the gym. I'll put my camera up, I'll start vlogging, I'll talk to the camera. No one even looks at me. No one cares. Like, literally no one cares, especially because I'm speaking English and they don't understand.
Yeah.
So like, I love being in Madrid in that I'm in my own like little bubble for that.
What would be like, if you were talking about an ideal year in terms of places to live in? Like, what would be the places, and what would be the month by month breakdown, or like the chunks? Let's say like 3 months here, 2 months there, whatever.
Oof, good question.
Bali, surely figures.
I love Bali. Bali's so good if you want to just go and like lock in with your health and fitness and wellness and do ice baths. And I was getting the best shape of my life in Bali because you can eat so clean. Like, there's 500 million different cafes and restaurants where you can just eat clean and build your own plate and like drink coconuts. And Bali's really good for like, I've never really partied in Bali, so whenever I go to Bali, like, my mind just like thinks of it as the place where I go and like be healthy and don't drink and go to the gym and run every day and go to the beach and get tanned and do ice bath and sauna every single morning. I don't know, I think I'm excited to try Cape Town. I've heard a lot of good things about that.
Never been, but yeah.
I'll definitely spend a lot of time in Dubai this year, 3 months, 4 months maybe, and I'll probably still continue to spend 3 to 6 months in Madrid. Ideally, long term, I want to live in Spain.
Yeah, it has the best package of everything. Like,
it does
when you consider it all.
And whenever I go somewhere else and then I come back to Spain, I'm like, fuck, I just love Spain so much.
It is just amazing, man. I mean, sick though, bro. Like, open ended. Like, yeah, we've gone from the Hollister days up to current day, and like passed through a little bit of everything. Yeah, we'll talk about the Creator Club, I suppose, to finish off. And just like, people should go to your Instagram, I suppose, take a look through there. I'm sure that's like the main place you want to send people to take a look. Obviously YouTube too, but I'm sure. Yeah,
just message me on Instagram if you've got any questions about the Creator Club. You can follow the Creator Club page at It's the Creator Club on Instagram. Just hired a team to basically run that for me because, as you know, I'm trying to do my own Instagram, my own YouTube channel. Like, it's like literally very, very difficult. Like, bro, thinking of ideas for content is very time consuming and takes a lot of energy. So I've got a team doing that now. They're doing a really good job. Page is going really good. So you can check out the page at It's the Creator Club on Instagram. If you have any questions, obviously just message me directly and I'll always respond to you. But rather than ending on me, I would like to ask you, because you've came here with Fabian today, and I can see that, like, I've been gone, I don't know, since we last saw each other, 6 months. Mm-hmm. And you two are like absolutely on it with the content. You're posting reels, you're posting day in the lives. You've got the podcast going again. You've got the YouTube channel going again. Fabian's obviously just joined the Creator Club today, which is pretty crazy. Like, before he even came here, which is sick. So big shout out to Fabian. I want to know, like, what are your goals over the next in 2026? Like, what you said something which I thought was really interesting and inspiring to me, saying that you want to basically change kind of the scene in Madrid. So yeah. Would you tell us a little bit about that, about what your goals are and what you plan to do?
Yeah, man. Well, like, I suppose like this summer was quite a seminal time, I would say, for me, in that I actually started a second company, which was an AI business. We got that up to like nothing crazy, like 10, 11K a month in like a month or so, just from like through our network and stuff like that. But it was actually more headache than like the main agency because it's not as repeatable of a service. Also realized that really where like AI will kind of, where it will actually be most useful and like where you'd actually get the most return from AI is not actually providing AI services to people. Like, to see AI booming and to think that means AI service companies are what will boom, like, they're not the same thing. Like, just AI booming does not mean that AI services will boom. If you look at a good service business, you have 3 things that you need to have fundamentally for it to work. Is ideally a really good service business. This is ideally it has to be completely on top of revenue, so it has to be driving revenue for businesses, not cutting costs. People care way more about increasing their revenue than cutting costs in terms of getting them to pay money to actually begin working with you. The second thing would be that it's naturally month to month. Like it naturally leads to you working together long term. You've really high LTV on each client. And the third thing would be that it naturally doesn't need a huge team to fulfill. I come more from like the online business world than the fitness world. And if you look at, you know, social media marketing agencies, when SMMA blew up in 2017, 2018, it has all three of those at nearly a 10 out of 10. And when you look at an AI company, it's more about cutting costs than increasing revenue. People don't care as much. It'll help their business, but they don't care as much. It's not as sexy. It's not naturally month to month. It's naturally project based. It's not super repeatable because you're often doing different things for different people, and you need a big team of highly skilled people. You need big salaries. And so if I look at like my main business, it's pretty close to revenue. It's probably like a 6 out of 10 there. It's naturally repeatable. It's like a 10 out of 10 there. And you do need quite a big team. It's probably like a 7 there. But you don't need, you know, a huge team of like developers and stuff like that. And people with like Chinese and Russian surnames on 300k a year, you know. And so the AI company didn't have that. So then I was kind of looking, I was like, mate, I just don't want to do this. I chat with my business partner. And it's actually a pretty interesting scene. I was on the banks of the River Seine in Paris, and I was chatting to him on a call. I was like, mate, if you look at all three of these, the AI company, like, this is not going to blow up as a trend the way SMMA did. It's just not going to do that because it doesn't have the fundamentals there. And I looked around and I was like, one of my best mates runs the biggest AI like kind of business channel out there. And he's crushing it with his agency, but he's one of the few. I looked and I was like, I don't see anyone who's crushing it in AI who isn't making all their money in info. Like literally zero. Or like, you know, the majority of their money in info at least. If I look at, for all the flaws of people who teach fucking drop shipping, e-com agency, whatever, there are plenty of people making like large amounts of money in those business models one of my friends runs a shapewear brand in the US. He used to coach people how to start an e-commerce brand. He shut it down because he thought he could make more money running brands. Like he was printing with the coaching. And so I was like, man, like we could run brands up like with all of our knowledge on AI, because we're on the cutting edge of it within our main company. We could run these up massively. And as I was doing this and starting this company, and we started the brands, like we're growing one main supplement brand that we're getting the MRR on like up pretty nicely at the moment. And I've been documenting that on my YouTube. It's my big regret from running the agency for the last 4.5 years is not documenting stuff. It's my biggest regret. Like, and I probably will come back to. I'll probably regret that when I'm old. You know, God willing that I don't get taken down by anything before then. But like, I still kind of regret that when I think about it. Still get a little bit of a sting there when I think of it. I was like, with this company, I want to document it all, and I want to actually show what I'm doing, because it would be really cool. I think it'd be helpful for people. I think it would be cool to meet cool people and bring around these great scenarios like the one that we're in currently, and also to be cool for like myself, kids, grandkids, whatever, to look back on. And I think I'd do it from my own perspective, and I think it could help certain people who aren't typically into that kind of thing and who find some of it a little bit distasteful, even in terms of like the Lambos and Rolexes and all that. I am wearing a Rolex, but like that's my one little treat, and I do love it.
I love it. It's sick.
Without the numerals, the black dial, yeah,
fucking sick. So yeah, you're building in public now, as it's called.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna keep the brand private because you could get so many copycats. But yeah, like, you know, with that, I was like, I'm in Madrid. I don't see many top people here. I do have some friends who run really sick businesses, but a lot of them don't speak English. I speak English and Spanish fluently. Like Fabian's like fully bilingual because he grew up here. Like I'm almost there. I do get mistaken for being Spanish quite often. And I was like, man, like there's a bridge here that needs to be built. Because it's probably been my biggest frustration here. I love the city to bits in every way, except the fact that there aren't people like you knocking around here at every corner. You know, I don't just, when I lived in Dubai, even when I lived in London to an extent, but that's more so because I knew a lot of people in the e-com scene there. But definitely when I lived in Dubai, the first time I ever met Mike in person was in a Five Guys in JBR. I think you mentioned that story too. But I just bumped into him. I was like, no, that's Mike Thurston. And yeah. And so to document, and I think to hopefully just be of value to people, but also just like a bit of like a creative project to express myself and kind of transmit the way I think about things to the world. And, you know, I don't think I'll ever make Madrid like a London. I just don't think it's going to be like that for a lot of people, especially when Barcelona is right there. A lot of people who are going to be attracted to Madrid are going to be like, hey, this is great, but Barcelona's there, Marbella's there, I'm going to go there. But I think there's a certain group of people I could certainly get together, and that is going well right now. And so with the goals and like, yeah, I'm going to join the Creator Club. Shout out to the Creator Club. You know, it's, I think, you know, out of a place of contribution. And this really ramped up in the last month because on my birthday, on the 23rd of October, we filmed a vlog. And I was actually, there was a clip we cut out where I actually mentioned this friend by name, because we're coming back from the Bernabeu after a Real Madrid Champions League game. And I was like, oh, you see this with my friend Ben, like he was off in Miami. I didn't know it, but like a couple of hours later, he actually passed away.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Too many. There were some trolls on Twitter that were like saying.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
I won't go into that part of things, but yeah, thank you, bro. But he was a close friend of mine when I went to Miami earlier this year. The trip where the mic broke on the way back. You know, he went out of his way to like show me around and stuff. I've known him for 5 years. First time meeting in person. And I did like a tribute to him at the end of the vlog, and I was like really, really upset. Like my mother actually and my aunt came over to Madrid to spend like my birthday there in the following couple of days, and there were a couple of times I actually just kind of sad, but like went off like, it's like, oh guys, I'm just gonna go off to the bathroom here, and I was actually like just in tears. And I was thinking about this, and you know, with him, he was such a special guy. The way I put it at the end of that video, he dropped out of college, he was in a frat in the US doing all that thing, crushed it in business. But he was just so good at expressing himself with the written word. He has a YouTube channel where he has amazing videos that are still there. And a flight I was on recently, coming back to Madrid, and the last few flights I've been on, I have them all downloaded. When I'm on flights, I just watch his videos and you know, keep the influence going. Because he was 2 years younger than me, but I looked up to him in so many ways for that ability to self-express and how irreverent he was, and how, you know, as you'd say in Spanish, like duela quien duela, just like hurt whoever it may. You know, I'm going to be who I am, duela quien duela. And he was like the epitome of that. And from there, like at the end of the video, like a phrase that's just been stuck in my mind. I was in mass recently. Yeah, like that's probably an interesting one as well. Like I don't see too many like Catholic business owners or whatever, but like I've kind of always had like, always believed in some way, which like isn't maybe the most common, but probably more of an Irish thing as well too. But I was in mass one night and I was like just tearing up, like thinking about him, praying for him. And the phrase that's been stuck in my mind and that I put at the end of the video, I've been saying as well to Fabian, to Daniel as well, who's our head of content at the agency, in loving memory of Ben Bader. That's just been like a phrase in my mind as well. And like I wanted to share a lot more already, and you were already getting the vlogs out, and we were doing that vlog. I was actually really excited to show it to him. I was actually really like, I'd messaged him on Instagram or on iMessage before about some of the Instagram content I was doing. I was like, oh bro, how have you found your kind of authentic voice and your content? Like how do you do this? Like it's so admirable. And I was like excited to show him the vlog and be like, hey, what do you think of this? But part of it's kind of, you know, to me, it's not just like a friend died. It's like because of the way he expressed himself and transmitted who he was to like 100%. To me, it was almost like an essence of like the human spirit died that day. It was like a shining light died that day. Like someone who, you know, when he died on my birthday, so we're connected forever. I'll remember him every year till the day I die. And like part of that was just like, you know, if someone like that now doesn't have the opportunity to do these things that they love so much, it would be an insult to them. Like there's McGregor back before his sort of villain arc, you know, back when he was just on it, you know, the 2014, 2015, 2016, even up to 2017 in large parts, McGregor. And he said, your lack of commitment is an insult to those who believe in you. And I think like your lack of transmitting who you really are is an insult to those who are no longer with us and who did that so like valiantly in my eyes, and now aren't here. So, you know, it was there before, but you know, there, like anytime like I post something in my head, I'm kind of like in loving memory of Ben Bader, like that post.
That's fucking sick, bro.
So yeah, that was kind of part of it. And I'm chatting to one of our like mutual friends, Ben's best friend, kind of like chatting to him a lot about this. And you know, he's in Miami as well. He's crushing it in his own respects. And yeah, like that's kind of part of it as well. It's like, you know, even on a more selfish level, if you were to pass away one day, like you know, what we all do, and like part of the reason people have children is, of course, obviously there's like a natural biological desire to do that, and it's the way we are, and it's kind of what we're here to do in a sense. But also we live on through the information that we leave behind us. When you actually have a child, you're leaving behind information of you. In a sense, it is genetic information, but also their stories of you. It's part of the reason people write books. In a 21st century context, we create content to leave information of ourselves behind. And I think it would be a tragedy if you feel like you have a good message for people and that just, you know, washes away.
Exactly, bro. I think that's literally one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard. Honestly, thanks for sharing that, Connor. And I'm sorry to hear about Ben, but that's literally like, give me goosebumps, bro. I think you're like such a special person as well. Like you are like so articulate and you speak so well. You're so interesting. I love spending time with you and hearing everything you have to say. So I think it's actually going to be such a gift that you're putting yourself out there now for other people to hear what you have to say. And I think, bro, honestly, I'm like, got goosebumps. I think that's so beautiful. So I'm really, really proud of you, bro. And Ben will be looking down on you and he'll be so fucking proud of you as well, bro. It's fucking sick.
I appreciate that, bro.
Wow.
We'll sign it off there, and we'll see you and other people watching this in the Creator Club.
Nice. Thank you so much, bro. That was sick.
Thanks so much, bro.
Thanks,
Great
Connor. Wow. What an ending.